What's up, guys, and welcome to today's show. So, Manchester United are out of the Champions League, finishing bottom of their group. A little bit embarrassing. I have a little bit of sympathy for Manchester United. Arsenal drawing their game against PSV, basically playing a second string team with a couple of the first teams. You had Saliba and Gabriel that started, Havertz that started, who should be considered first team players, along with Trossard, who should be considered a first team player. Eddie scoring his first Champions League goal, which is good for him. And Arsenal finishing top of the group. They will finish top of the group and getting another point. Some players getting a rest. I had to bring on some of the big boys like Odegaard, Declan Rice in the end just to see the game out. Saka managing to sit the whole game out and have a rest, which is good. Saka should be managed better. He doesn't need to play every game, and his general fitness should be managed better. So yeah, that was good. We rode our luck a little bit. PSV having a lot of chances. Ramsdale making some good saves. It is what it is. It was just one of those games. Arsenal just had to get, some sort of result and get out. I mean, that's what they've done. But the main thing is, some players managed to get a good rest. The big game for, the English teams last night was Manchester United versus Bayern Munich. Listen, Bayern Munich won that game 1-0. Kingsley Coman scoring the only goal of the game. Listen, while I was watching that game actually, in Manchester United, they weren't terrible. Bayern Munich weren't at their scintillating best. It's one of those games, Old Trafford seemed a little bit flat. And when the news came in that Copenhagen scored, that sort of flattened it out a little bit. And basically, Copenhagen and Bayern Munich are going into the last 16, and Galatasaray dropping into the Europa League, and unfortunately Manchester United are finishing last of the group, and they're gonna have no European football for the rest of the season. But that could be a good thing for Manchester United. They just have to focus on domestically, trying to get into that top 4, top 5 if English teams manage to perform well enough to get into those top 2 places to get the extra Champions League place. That will be the aim. So we'll see how it goes. Listen, I've got a lot of sympathy for Manchester United because they're a club that I respect, because I grew up with that rivalry, Manchester United versus Arsenal, and it's a club I respect. Ten Hag is a manager that I've got a lot of admiration for. His body of work deserves the admiration, what he did at Ajax, the first season at Manchester United. But like I've said many times, the BJ need a whipping boy, and unfortunately it's Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United. Listening to TalkSport this morning, listening to people like Danny Murphy, who sometimes speaks sense, but other times, he speaks total shit. He bigs up Mason Mount as if Mason Mount is his love child. Mason Mount is an average player. He's an average player. But according to Danny Murphy, he's a world beater. I mean, come on. A lot of the English pundits and sports media, they have a bias towards English coaches, English teams, and English players. And as someone who's working in the media, you should be unbiased, you should be fair, and you should be right through the middle. But they can't seem to control themselves. And listening to Danny Murphy this morning, what is his vendetta with Eric Ten Hag? It's like someone like Poch, according to the media and pundits, his failures are brushed under the carpet. But Eric Ten Hag is this rubbish manager, he should be sacked. No, he shouldn't be sacked. And he's not a rubbish manager, he's a top manager. But Manchester United, unfortunately, are in a club in an absolute mess. When you are criticising, you need to look at the mitigating circumstances and the whole picture. The clubs that do the best are the best run clubs. And they have the manager to steer the ship. How many top managers, world-class managers, have Manchester United had since Ferguson? They've had Mourinho, legendary manager. Van Gaal, legendary manager. Ten Hag, top manager. And all three of them have struggled. They've all got something in common though. They've all won silverware. Van Gaal, the FA Cup. Mourinho, the Europa League. And I believe the Carabao Cup. And Ten Hag, the Carabao Cup. The other two more rubbish ones like Moyes and Solskjaer were trophyless. But those three have brought some little bit of success to Manchester United. So Ten Hag deserves time. I will fight back and I will speak out against this sort of thing because it is wrong. Danny Murphy, his excuse is, well, it just ain't good enough. Well, it just ain't good enough. But what about the whole club ain't good enough? They need a director of football. They need the ownership to really care and really invest like the Cronkies have with Arsenal. They need ownership that is invested, and they need hierarchy that is invested into a plan. Off the field, Manchester United have no plan. They have no direction. There is no project. There is none. So Eric Ten Hag is working within a complete shitstorm of a mess. I feel sorry for the guy. And if you sack him and bring someone else in like a Conte, it's going to be the same thing. That's why I'm saying to the Manchester United fan base, you need to stick with your manager. Listen, recruitment needs to be better. The recruitment needs to be better. It looks like some of the players that he's signed have been a little bit duddish, but they still need time to adapt. Onana hasn't been so good in the Champions League, but he's been good in the Premier League. He's a top keeper. He'll come good. Mason Mount's been injured. He could still come good. So I would implore the Manchester United fan base, support your manager, support your team, and stay behind Eric Ten Hag. These pundits calling for Ten Hag to be sacked is appalling. It's appalling. Danny Murphy this morning, abysmal, appalling. It's lazy punditing. It's just not good enough. What about the mitigating circumstances? What about the other two world-class managers that failed at Manchester? No, they didn't fail, but they got sacked at Manchester United and they didn't hit the standards that, might have been expected. Ten Hag has earned time for last season. 2 cup finals, winning one, and 3rd place in the Premier League. Man United weren't expected to get top 4. So he overachieved. He should be afforded time. He isn't so far off the top 4 with Manchester United. Being outside of Europe will probably do Manchester United a favour. When Radcliffe eventually comes in, hopefully he's, from the sporting side of things, he's going to help Ten Hag and put a project together that Ten Hag can, be the captain of, be the leader of, be the gaffer of, and steer that project in the right direction. But things take time. Like I said, Arteta, 5th place, 8th. 5th place, 8th. This is his 2nd season. 3rd. Man United won't finish lower than 8th. So according to Arteta's standards of the time he was given, Ten Hag should be given time. Arteta was hopeless in Europe as well. We were getting knocked out of Europa Leagues. Last season, embarrassed by Sporting Lisbon. The season before, beaten by Emery and Villarreal. Time, patience. I will push back against this obsession with certain pundits and certain other YouTube content creators and YouTube channels to sack managers. No. People need time. Good things take time and patience. We're not an advocate to sack anyone. Even Ange Postecoglou. Yeah, I banter with Spurs fans and I banter about Ange Postecoglou. But really and truly, the guy's done good. Like, if I'm speaking from just an unbiased viewpoint, which I need to, The guy's done a good job. Great start. Good style of football. Yeah, recent form's not been too good, but there's been mitigating circumstances that need to be put into the equation. Got a good win against Newcastle this gone weekend. So Ange Postecoglou's done a good job. Probably a better job than I thought that he would do. Is Ange Postecoglou going to bring success to Spurs? I don't think he will. But is that because of Ange Postecoglou? I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's better than Conte or Mourinho. But the whole culture at Spurs isn't geared towards success and winning. Winning is an energy. Winning is a habit. Winning is a culture. And only certain clubs have that. And Spurs at the moment, they never have. And they don't have that at the moment. And Ange Postecoglou won't be able to instill that. So, that's where I am on the whole thing. I want Manchester United, because there's a club I respect. I want Manchester United to do well. They're a big club. I want Ten Hag to be given the time and the resources to get it right and to actually have a project. Because at the moment, Manchester United don't have a project because it's all a mess. The whole hierarchy's a mess. So he deserves time. Being out of Europe might be a blessing in disguise for Manchester United so they can focus on their domestic responsibilities. So tonight in the Champions League, we have Manchester City and we have Newcastle. Newcastle facing AC Milan away. And who we got there? We got Manchester City facing Caverna Vesda. So Manchester City are basically going to go, they're basically through. Pep can rest some players, play some of the other players, have a look at some other players. I anticipate that Manchester City will win that game. Newcastle, well, that's a game I'll be watching. They need to win and hope that things go their way. Similar to Manchester United yesterday, hope that things go their way in the game versus PSG and Borussia Dortmund. Let's hope that Newcastle can get through. So, the whole of the English football teams can accrue more points across the European competitions to get that 5th spot in the Champions League. Do I think Newcastle are going to go through? I don't think so, unfortunately. I've got no love lost for Newcastle United. After that game that we had Arsenal against them earlier in the season when we got robbed by the Joe Linton goal. It should have been a foul against Gabriel Magalhaes. And, the players got on my nerves. Some of the fan base got on my nerves. So, yeah, I've got no love lost with Newcastle. But, it'd be good if they got through just to help to get the English, the Premier League into those top 2 of the European rankings to get that 5th extra, the extra Champions League place, the 5th place. But I think the odds are against them. I don't think they'll beat AC Milan. And I just think that there's too much odds against them. They need to win, which I don't think they're going to do. And they need to hope that things go their way in the game between PSG and Dortmund, which is tricky. It's tricky. It's high. It's high odds to overcome. So yeah, I'll be watching those games tonight. I'll be back tomorrow for another video, reviewing those games and also talking about certain topics that are big in football at the moment. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything that you want to see me talk about, please just comment and let me know, and I'll see if I can bring out that content. So again, please smash the like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.